All right. I think everybody could hear us. Okay, so hi, hello. I am Jessica Pearson. This is my husband, Dan Pearson.
Yep.
Very quick intro. I'm going to pull up some stuff here for you guys. So just a quick backstory on exactly who I am. I'm a distributor with It Works. Some of you on here are from It Works. Some of you are from other network marketing companies. So what we're actually going to talk about is pretty generic as far as, you know, where you can use these tips and things like that. So anyway, okay, so I am a distributor with It Works Global. I've been in for about 6 years, and I'm going to tell you some numbers because when I tell you tips, when I tell you these things and suggestions and things like that, I want you to know it's coming from a place of success, okay? I want you to understand that. So when I was brand new in the business, my first 2 months, I signed 60 loyal customers in my very first 2 months, and I signed, I think, 39 retail customers in those same 2 months. As an executive, I was making almost $3 grand a month, okay? You guys know, if you're with It Works, you guys know how many people are under you as an executive, all right? I focus a lot on sales. Which,
heck, let's be honest, any business early on, any network marketing business, that's pretty fantastic.
That's pretty big, yeah.
Yeah, it really was. And you know, we wanted to touch on where we came from, some of our numbers, obviously not to brag, but of course, anybody who watches this who doesn't know who we are or our background, it's going to say, well, who are these guys? Like, trying to give information and tips.
I know what I'm talking about.
It is coming from
it's coming from a place of
experience.
Success.
Yeah,
Yes.
like I say, we've been in this 6 years, which is
so,
a long time in network marketing.
Yeah, 6 years.
Yeah.
In the same company.
Yeah.
Very long time.
Yeah,
So executive, great, Ruby, distributor, diamond, double diamond, okay? A lot of you on here might know double diamond. For a couple months, I was making over 20 grand a month as a double.
Yeah.
Okay? As a double. So I want you to understand that, because when we talk about cold messaging, building, all of these things, I wasn't doing those things, okay? We'll get into it. So all of that aside, all right,
we put an emphasis as well on customers, which doesn't seem to be, there doesn't seem to be that much emphasis on customers, and they're the bread and butter. That's why this company's here. It's customers. This company wouldn't be here without customers. So a lot of that was made up from customers, both loyal and actually retail.
How many times he said customers? Okay.
Just driving that point home.
All right. Well, we'll get into it. All right. So there's my backstory, to put it simply. All right. I wanted to give you guys numbers.
Yeah. Just brief overview.
I'm in the top 150 income earners worldwide with this company, and I'm not at the top of the company. That's something else I want you to know. I'm not a top rank. I'm a triple diamond. It's pretty damn good, but I'm in the top 150 income earners, not as a top rank. So that's something else that I want you to understand, because you don't have to be at a top rank to be making amazing pay, to be making a 6-figure income, to be on a stage as a top 150 income earner. So the whole purpose of this series of attraction marketing Zooms, things like that, we're going to go over my favorite topic ever, cold messaging. We're going to go over personal branding, attraction marketing in general, the the psychology in business, social media marketing, things like that. We're going to talk about posting, all of these things, okay? But what it's not going to be, and I want you to really understand this, it is not going to be bashing certain ways of doing things. I know if you've been following me for a while, some of you, you know that I am very passionate about certain ways of working this business. And you know, I'm very vocal about certain things that I can't stand about this business, no matter what company you're in. But I want you to understand that I have to word things in these Zooms very carefully, because my intention is not to bash any leaders. It is not to make you think that you signed up under the wrong person or what they told you was a bad thing. Because at the end of the day, attraction marketing is amazing. It works for many people. It's worked for us. But there will always be people that disagree with us. And there will, just like we will always disagree with people that do the other ways. So again, these videos are never going to be for for putting anybody down or things like that. And you will see me word things very carefully because I want these to be informative. I want you to...
Yeah, I mean, you guys are smart. You know what the gig is.
Yeah. I want you to get the best tips ever.
Yeah.
And they're going to be broken up into 3-part series. I'm going to keep these as short as possible. If it was up to Daniel, it would be 5 minutes and we'd be out of here. But I'm going to break them up into different segments. So over the next few days, next week or so as well.
And then it's easier for you to be able to jump back to certain, let's say chapters, you know, to kind of, because, to help out with that.
All right.
Right.
So I think we should get into my most favorite topic ever. Just get it right out of the way.
Hey, we might as well.
All right, you guys.
So that's what we mean to go on.
We're going to talk about cold messaging.
Right.
So
let's first clarify what we mean by cold messaging. Because a lot of the time, people say, oh, no, I don't cold message. And you're like, well, yeah, you do. Okay, so cold messaging. We mean somebody who doesn't know who you are, has had no contact with you before, and you are just pouncing on them. My favorite way to analogy on this to compare is, say you're walking through the mall and those little kiosks that are always in the malls and those people working those kiosks and they just seem to dive on people. You know, it's their job to dive on people. I compare the cold messaging, like how I described it, to those people.
Yes.
You want to be those people. You know, there are some people, and I know them because we're all different personalities and color types and personalities. You know, there's some people that works for them. They love it. They love the chase. They love that type of sale. They just, you know, it's great for them. So therefore, that's a perfect fit for them. But here it is, you know, 99% of people, that doesn't work for them because we are different personality types. Most of us are the type, more so the yellows and things like that, where that just doesn't work. But
that was really loud.
There are some massive pluses for cold messaging. And I'm sure some of you never, ever thought you would hear that come from us.
Don't worry, I'm coming right after him with the negatives.
But there are some massive benefits for it. So, of course, I mean, really the first one is it's easy, right? Because most of it now is done on social media. So most of it is going to be script-based, a script that's been handed down and handed down and handed down, and they just get sent out. And that's something that can be done on many different platforms and many different industries. I mean, just a whole plethora of different industries that can be used for. And it's very, very easy. And within network marketing, a leader is always trying to do things and teach something that is duplicatable. Because when somebody can duplicate that, you know, they then can take some of that stress away from that leader, and they can start to duplicate it. It's a really important step for any type of you know, network marketing business, is to have your team duplicate the things that the successful steps, you know, steps that will help to earn money. So the other thing is, in doing this, from a psychological standpoint, you feel like you're being really, really productive because you're doing all this work. Oh, I'm sending out loads of messages. I'm, you know, talking to loads of people. So it's really easy to fall into that trap of that, because you just feel like you're doing a lot of work. And it's also very, very quick. You can, in a very short amount of time, contact a ton of people and feel like, okay, I did my work for the day, and I get on with looking after the kids, doing errands, you know, that sort of stuff. So it's easy to do that. And as I mentioned before, for the right person, it can be so effective, really, really effective. Because some people, that is just, you know, they can hone in on that and just go to town. They love it. They're not shy about contacting people. Rejection doesn't bother them. And they can sell, you know, ice cubes to an Eskimo. They're just, you know, they love that type of selling. So there are pluses, you know, to it. You know, we didn't want to, certainly, like we mentioned, didn't want to come in here and knock any form of anything, because there are different ways of doing certain things. And if somebody has reached the highest ranks of their company doing a certain way, then of course I'm saying, well, that doesn't, you know, why are you doing that? That doesn't work.
There definitely has
absolutely
been in our company.
Yeah, sure. This company and many other network marketing businesses and regular businesses as well. You know, so but only certain people can do it. You know, it really isn't from a successful standpoint. I feel duplicatable just from what I've seen.
It is duplicatable, however.
From a success standpoint, I mean, you can duplicate that because you can tell a monkey, go send out these messages, but doesn't mean they're going to be successful and be able to turn that into a what they would deem as a successful business, whether that be, you know, 6 figures a year or whatever it might be. You know, for some people, success is having a business where they know multiple people on their teams are earning and looking after their families. You know, that's a successful business for them, helping out others by doing that. Others is just, you know, the number, you know, they're earning 6 figures a year or whatnot.
So
onto the flip side.
Onto the flip side. So obviously, because I wrote this, there's going to be more negatives to cold messaging than there are positives. But we did mention the positives, so let's focus on that. Okay, so there are obviously negatives. There's a lot of negatives, but I'm going to touch on the main ones, all right?
Here's the thing, though. We're going to explain why.
Right. He's, like, all about talking tonight. Look at you.
Just trying to get a
Do
few
you want to show your glass of wine?
Nope.
Your barrel. Okay, so here's the negatives to cold messaging that you may not have been told. Well, if anybody's trying to get you to do something, they're not going to tell you the negatives of things, right? So I want you to choose accordingly, knowing both of these things, okay? So one, it's not personal. That's like one of the main things in attraction marketing. So if you want to do attraction marketing and you also want to do cold messaging, it's not going to happen. Like it can't be both.
And we'll touch a little bit on after this on attraction marketing.
Oh, we will. We'll get into all of that.
Is like, oh, what's that?
This is a whole series. Okay, so it's not personal. It's spammy. It's spammy. Okay, it's not fun. Not many people actually enjoy sending out hundreds of messages a day to people. I know the messages that I get from people that are not on my team in this company and other companies that say, okay, here's what I was taught, but I'm not having fun anymore. Like I signed up because this was exciting, this was fun, and I'm not having fun anymore. Like Dan said before, there's a certain type of person that would love cold messaging. Yep. They would be extremely good at cold messaging. There are some in this company that are extremely good at it, but they're the type of people that
they're a rarity.
They are. And they don't care about hearing no or being told off or things like that. But for the most people, I don't want to wake up every day, at least for me.
Honestly, more power to them because I couldn't do it.
No.
That's just not in my makeup. And I know it's not in most people's makeup.
It's definitely not in mine.
Hence why, we're doing this video.
So I know that I wouldn't want to wake up every day dreading what I had to do because I got out of a 9-to-5 where I dreaded getting up every day to change that. So I'm not going to go into a network marketing company where I'm trying to leave the 9-to-5 and be miserable the same exact way, just like I was going to this cubicle. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's not fun, okay? And honestly, that's why a lot of people quit because they lose that sense of fun. They lose that like, oh, this is exciting. No, it's not. It's not.
That initial excitement from signing up and it just gets sucked out of you so quick when you're doing that every day.
That truly is so many messages that I get from people.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, and this isn't just coming from fresh air. This is coming from messages daily that we have received for at least really the past sort of 4.5 years, I would say.
When it started coming around, maybe like 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Not really. Okay, so it's a very quick way to get blocked by people. It's a very quick way to the network that you have, your warm market, your whatever. I mean, even your warm market. If you haven't spoken to somebody in 2 years and they're on your friends list, and you signed up for a company where you're selling products, and the first time you talk to them is to pitch your product or your business, that's a cold message, and you're going to get blocked. I mean, let's be honest. It's
I didn't
rare.
fully explain the whole cold messaging thing. That's another aspect of it too. Somebody that you've maybe not spoken to in, 5 or 6 years from school, or an old work colleague, something like that. Somebody you just haven't spoken to in a long, long time, and then boom, out of the blue, you're messaging them, hey, buy my product or sign up to be on my team.
Something that a lot of people don't look at it as is they don't put themselves in that person's shoes, like the kiosk at the mall, like Dan was saying, right? Like getting messages. I know for a fact, there's how many of you on here? 200? There's 200 of you on here, okay? I know for a fact that at least half of you have received a cold message yourself. And whether it was from this company or another company, I see you guys nodding your heads, yes. And you can tell when you're being sold to, right? And when people go online, Facebook especially, okay? When they go online, they're going online to check in with their friends, check in with their family, right? That's what they're trying to do. Same as when you go to the mall, you're going to the mall to get what you have to get, maybe shop around and go home. When you go to the mall and you walk past a kiosk where all they're doing is trying to sell you and they're not letting you come over to them, they're literally leaving the kiosk. I have been grabbed many times walking to a store, grab my arm, okay? Oh, you have beautiful hair, you have this, you have that. That is exactly how it comes across in a cold message on social media. That is exactly, if you are cold messaging, that's how you end up looking. How many messages do you have to send out to get somebody to sign up, right? You have to look at that as well. How much time are you putting in? Like Dan said before, the benefit of cold messaging, it's quick, it's easy, it's duplicatable, that's great, it's fast, okay? But how much time are you actually spending in a day, in a month, to get a handful of customers, a handful of distributors, right? And I say this all the time, and I don't say it to brag, I'm saying it to make a point. I guarantee you that I work less in a day than the majority of people in network marketing, and I make more than those people because of how I do it.
And let me explain that real quick, because there's two sides to any business. You are looking for the customer, and then you are kind of selling the customer and helping them with their purchase, and then aftercare, so to speak. When you don't have to go out and search for that customer, that's half the battle won. So that's what we mean by less work. There is still work being done with chatting and things like that, but the vast majority of the selling has already kind of been done by them. They already kind of know what they want. They're just seeing how they click with you first before the purchase. Because with industries like this, a lot of it is about trust. Not so much when you go in to buy a car from a big brand that you already know. You're like, I know I want that car. I'm going to go in there. If the salesman's a bit of a douche, well, but you're going to go in on that. With this, because there's the potential of working with that person, you need to click with them. So that's why we've always said, you're not selling the products or selling the company, you're selling yourself. You've got to sell yourself.
Which we will get into on personal branding in our next.
Down the line a little bit, just touching on that,
So something else that I wanted to.
So just jumping on that. So touching on those, the pluses and the minuses. Some people are very much going to love the cold messaging and that side of it. They can just run and do that. The vast majority of us can't do that. It's just not in our makeup to do it. No matter how hard we try, it's just not the right industry, not the right way of doing it, should I say, not industry.
Do you want to know why? Go on then. Because it's not natural. It's not natural for you to just message a stranger and try to sell them something, or try to start a conversation with the main purpose of getting them to sign up as a customer or a distributor. It's not natural to do those things. That is a telemarketer. Those are the people. We hang up the phone. We don't answer the phone. We block the phones on cold messaging. We should on telemarketing. We walk away from kiosks at the mall. We pretend we're on our phones. So really, if you are somebody that does this, okay, and I'm going to say this to you, if you're somebody that does this and it's not working for you, because I always say this, whatever you're doing, whatever it is, to work your business, if it's something that is genuinely working for you, and I mean working for you, I don't mean like, oh, I got 2 customers a month and I signed and I messaged 2,000.
Yeah.
That's not working, okay? You have to look at the numbers. So if it's anything that you're doing that is working for you, always keep doing that. I always will say that, always, 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 because there's no point in trying to fix what's not working.
Oh, absolutely. We're certainly not saying if something's working, jump and try to do something else. No way, no way. But if it's working for you, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be that it will work for everybody. Because as much as, we all want to recruit every single person that comes on board as a rock star and off they run, that isn't always the way. It's just not the way. And people have different ways of working the business. What might work for you isn't necessarily going to work for them. So if you are highly successful with the cold messaging, I think great. I truly mean that, because God knows how. You made it stronger stuff than me, certainly, because that's crazy. But you also got to read other people and see, this might help them. We've had a lot of people that we've spoken to before from other teams, and that's why we've done this too. Like literally, I don't know how many messages. It feels like hundreds and hundreds now over the years that we've had of people that have watched, some of Jess's videos and some of the videos I've done with her and changed it up a little bit and done more of, a different marketing style, and they're enjoying the business. And, they might not be absolutely killing it, but they're at least enjoying it and they're on the right path and, and all of that. Because a lot of this comes down to education, right? You don't know what you don't know. We certainly didn't know that there was even really a name for what Jess was just doing naturally,
I had no idea.
She's just.
It was years later.
Honestly, I think it's like a New Jersey, New York thing. Like they just talk to everyone like they're their friends and blah. Checkout lady or this or that, anybody, right? And it's just a thing they do. So she did, and it works.
Something I don't mean to interrupt you, but I do want to say, when you said that it's about when people have messaged us and said, "Hey, we've watched your videos, we tried what you're doing, and we're having fun again. Like, it's amazing. We're signing people, this and that." What's very important to understand that it's also very much so, whether you're in this business or you're working a 9 to 5, about energy. Mm-hmm. Because if you're not having fun, if you don't believe in the product, if you know that you're taking a scripted message and sending it out to 500 people, okay, and you know that you're not having fun doing so, it's never going to work. Like Dan said, there are people that love cold messaging, and that's different because their energy is coming through differently.
Oh yeah,
I can tell you right now,
they are
you can say the 2 exact same things, and their energy is going to come through differently because they love it. So that's why it's so important to remember that it is still about energy, which is why everybody quits when they can't. They can't get a hold of, I have to send 100 messages a day, or I have to do whatever. And another thing is that the people that you have maybe found and maybe signed up through cold messaging, 99% of them will not work out because they had to be convinced, because they didn't come to you. You just kind of threw this into their life, and maybe they were like, okay, all right, yeah, that sounds good. Like, how do I get signed up? How do I get signed up?
Yeah, maybe it was on a whim. Maybe it was during a promotion where it was much cheaper to get involved in whatever business it might be, things like that, where, they need to be sold, not sold to. Otherwise, they don't last very long.
So something else that I wanted to say as far as the cold messaging, and then I can cut the cold messaging part. I I want to explain how doing this trickles down to other people in the company that maybe have never said 2 words to you, okay? Because I see this on a daily basis. So I've said this a lot in posts. You may have seen it or not. So when you're adding people to your network on Facebook, okay, a lot of people are going for typically the same people. I've noticed that I have a lot of mutual friends with a lot of other distributors. I don't know how that happens. I don't know, but I feel like as big as Facebook is, we all have the same friends, okay? So bottom line is that if you are somebody who is cold messaging, if you are somebody that's using scripts, which is a whole other topic that we're going to talk about, please know that probably 80% of the people that you're contacting have already been contacted prior. And now if you're cold messaging, I know for a fact that you're using scripts. So if they have been contacted prior by a cold message, then your scripted message that was given to you or that you found or that you copied and pasted.
Yeah, because there's only so many scripts that go around.
Was the exact same message that they have more than likely received from 10 other people before you even got to them. Now.
And why is that? Because it's so easy to send out a message and hide behind the screen as well. You know, if it's easy to do it, which is a plus and a minus. Let's be honest. It's great to get that person going, that fresh new person. They're all energetic and excited, and okay, you just need to send these messages out to your top 100 people. And that's that is why people get into Facebook jail. That's another thing altogether.
Yeah, like we said before, you will be blocked. It ruins your algorithm, you guys. When you're sending out the same message over and over and over and over, Facebook has cracked down on it now because it has happened so much, and it's not happening. Sending out the same message to people is not happening from regular people that aren't in network marketing, because why would they send out the same message to their friends? It's happening from people in network marketing in all companies.
Yeah, more so in a network marketing environment, definitely.
Exactly. So if it's happening to all companies and now they're putting a crackdown, you're seeing more people quit. Yeah. You're seeing more people get frustrated thinking, oh, what did I do wrong? Because they don't know the problem of cold messaging. And it's just a trickle effect. And that's what happens. So you could be the 10th person that hits up somebody's mailbox, and you could be the one that gets screamed at. It could just be that, and
Absolutely.
Maybe you can handle that stuff. That's fine. But for me, I can't.
Well, for some newbies, that would really scare them off. Anybody new in any business, if they're going to get shouted at by what they deem as a potential customer, it really knocks the edge off that excitement, and they might not want to do any messaging the next day. And if all they know is to send out messages and they don't want to do that, then effectively they're not working.
So I'm going to share something with you, and I'm going to see if you guys can see this. I'm going to try and share from my cell phone right now, because I want to show you something. Okay. All right. Can you guys see that? Can you give me like a thumbs up? You can see my phone? Okay. This right here, I blocked her out. Anything that I screenshot, you guys are posting here, everybody will be blocked out.
Yep.
There might even be some of your posts, for all I know. I've been screenshotting like crazy this last week. So I got this message only about a week ago. And it was from a DT. And it was to somebody who...
within our company,
My profile very clearly makes it very clear what company I'm with. The cover photo is the stage where the top 150 income earners are on. I'm on that stage. Like, you know what company I'm with if you're in that company. And I deliberately asked her $200 on what products. I knew exactly where she was from. I knew exactly what was going to happen. But I wanted to see how far this was going to go.
This is not the first one.
No, this isn't
the first person. This happens daily.
And then she realized after the fact. And as you can see, she said, oh my God, I just realized my message. And I said to her, girl, who is teaching you this? Who is teaching you this stuff? And I didn't yell at her. I didn't go, there was a while because it was happening so much to me, like maybe a year ago. where I would just go off on people. And I was like, anyway. Do you even know, like, do you even look at my profile? Like, you clearly, but in the last 6 months or so, there's no point in yelling at anybody, because really at the end of the day, they're only doing what they've been told to do.
Yep.
And I also don't want to scare people off either, because I can get very aggressive and very scary. So I don't ever want to do that, especially if I can, in that one moment, help change how they do their business. So I'm going to do that instead of yelling. So I started talking to her, and we talked for a little bit. I gave her some tips. Hopefully all is well. I don't know. I know some people that have done this have come back to me later on, like a month later, and said, hey, listen, remember when I messaged you? I'm so sorry about that. But I stopped doing that, and I started doing what you said, and it's working out much better. So the point is, though, this is what happens. This is not the first message. I am not the first triple diamond to get a message from somebody in my own company. And that message, because it's a typical, hey girl, has been copied and pasted multiple times, to the point where she literally just went down her entire friends list, didn't even bother looking at profiles. Yeah. And you know what because
it's easy.
The thing is, I think a lot of people, because this happens so much, a lot of people, I think, feel like, oh, it's okay, they're a distributor, we're in the same company, they'll laugh at it. But not everybody's doing what they're doing. I'm certainly not. So when you come to me and do something that I teach not to do, that's a big deal. It's a big deal, because you didn't take the time to look at the person's profile that you were messaging. So there's cold messaging, and then there's just being silly. Like, I
think more so as well, if you have gone and done that and stumbled across Jess and sent that to Jess, and she gets it, just think about all the other people that have probably had 10 of these messages from different people, and how
that's a very good point.
By the 10th one, I'm like, oh,
that's a very good point. I'm in the company, and it pissed me off. Can you imagine the person that's been messaged now 10, 20 times, the same message from different people, that she, as much as she may have wanted to try the products, will never try the products, and will never join the company because it was rude for her.
Yeah.
That's basically what happens.
And now, something to bear in mind, if this is something you've been taught, a technique you do, and are maybe hiding behind the screen and like, oh no, again, you don't know what you don't know. And a lot of this is about education too, because so many come into sales type jobs and feel that this is the only way of doing it. That you just try and contact, it's a numbers game, contact as many people as quickly as possible, get the word out there. Unfortunately, on the Facebook platform, on the social media platforms as a whole, but I mean, more so on Facebook, this has been done to death for the past few years. You think about several, tens of thousands of people doing this over years has now created all they do is spam people type. A lot of people look at a company, like that. Unfortunately, it's a real shame. If there's something you've been doing purely because you didn't know of another way, there are other things. A lot of this does come down to you doing your own due diligence and research and reading upon this. If this is definitely a path that you want to take, i.e. being in this business, being in network marketing in general, then it's also about, doing some research yourself. There is so much of it online. I mean, just oodles and oodles of information.
Now, let me just quickly chime in here, because I know that we're talking all about cold messaging, all about this, all about that. And I'm saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Okay? What I suggest to my team, to people that ask me questions for help, this and that. Okay? I even talked about this at a One Team One Mission. I did an entire social media training at the One Team One Mission I did in Vegas a year ago. What I do is I teach how to warm message your cold market. That's what I do. Now that is essentially building relationships. Does it take 5 years? No. Does it take 5 weeks? No. It could take 5 minutes. And that's the thing. People want a cold message because it's fast.
I think it's fair
so is this.
I think it's fair to say though, that to some extent, of course, it's a longer procedure, than just merely sending out a message and hoping for the best. It is longer, and therefore, to some extent, just talking to somebody doesn't feel like you're working. Just networking it's in the name of what we do. It's networking. It's all about networking. It's not just about spamming, you know.
Especially on social media.
Yeah.
That's also in the name. You have to be social.
Yep.
You have to be. Like I said before, people are not coming online to be sold to.
Nope.
They will never want to come online to be sold to. Just like we don't want to go online to be sold to.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you walk into a mall, nowadays, it's somewhat, you know, expected that you're going to have some of those kiosk people run up to you. It's kind of, you know, you're in kind of their domain, so to speak. But imagine if that was happening every hour, somebody knocking at your door. You know, that would get annoying real quick. You know, you somewhat expect it in the mall setting, as annoying as it is. But so this is what's happening. People aren't on there to be sold to.
No.
But you can sell something without selling something. And that's the key to a really successful salesperson.
And that's what we'll get into in the whole attraction marketing Zoom when we get to that.
And that spans any industry. You know, the best used car salespeople, recruiters, anybody like that, you don't feel like you've been sold to. You know, and you walk out going, that was easy. You know, because they've not pounced. You know, they allow you to do the selling by asking questions and talking. You know, there's generally, you know, a thing in sales. People feel they need to regurgitate information onto people. Well, it's the other way around. You want the customer to be talking more than what you are. They can sell themselves. They can ask questions. I mean, of course, you can throw things out there to try and get the conversation going. You know, if it gets a bit stale. But for the most part, the more questions that are asked, the more they are selling themselves into it.
So let me tell you guys really quickly, because we're running out of time here and I want to make sure that. So when I talk about how to warm message your cold market, right? I know somebody just asked,
Sounds
how
intriguing, doesn't it?
How are you warming them up?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even have to. Sometimes you don't even have to. I will forever say, I do not message people about this business or these products ever. I have never once done that. If I talk to anybody, they've left a comment saying they want more info or they're interested. Obviously, I'm going to send them a message then, plain as day, okay? If they say anything about anything on my post where I know that I can take the conversation further without saying a word about products or the business ever. I don't ever go into any conversation thinking I'm going to get this as a sale or I'm going to get this person as a distributor. That's what a lot of people, because there's desperation there. And when there's desperation there, your words change. And then you look and you depend on scripts. And then there's this whole, I mean, it's just a bad circle of things. So when I talk about warm messaging your cold market, okay, let's say that
means just networking. As much as that sounds, just chit chat, isn't it? You know, and
sort of. But I'm going to take
to an extent, but you know, it's not. Go, sorry.
Thank you. So the next few Zooms will be without him. No, I'm kidding. So what I'll do sometimes is say I'll send out friend requests, okay? And we're, again, on another Zoom, we're going to talk about how your profile should look to be open for business, because you can send out a gazillion friend requests and nobody's going to accept you if it's not set up the right way, okay? Yeah. So that's another thing we're going to talk about. But I'll send out friend requests.
What did I say? First impressions, eh?
First impressions, yes. And then I'll get friend requests, I'll get them accepted, whatever. And then once they accept, they go into a list, okay, a Facebook list. And then every day I'll go through that list and I'll just make sure that I'm being social with them, that I'm looking at what they're posting, because I did send them a friend request for a reason. I don't friend request everybody. I friend request the people that I know for a fact. If I was not in this business, I would want to be friends with them. Yep. So I friend request those people. I don't friend request, people that look a certain way or that do certain things. Nope. I have to see that I have things in common with them. If Yep. They look cool, if they have cool hair, if they have tattoos and whatever, like I'm all about that. Let's go. Let's friend request you. So it gets accepted. I put them into a Facebook list. I start scrolling through my newsfeed every morning before I do anything else. And I'll just be social, blah, blah. I'll start liking and this and that. Because if you did not know with the Facebook algorithm how it works, when you're social with people, they see your stuff more.
Boy, oh boy, could that be a whole topic all by itself? That could just be an hour Zoom just talking about
algorithms. We need Johnny on that one. I know he's already.
Yeah, big time.
So I'll start being social with them. And then maybe they'll make a photo. right? They'll post a photo. Maybe they took it in black and white, for example, and the shot was really good. I like photography, okay? So I'm going to message them, having nothing to do about the business, nothing to do about the products. And I'll just say, hey, I know that, that like you literally, we just became friends on here. But I just saw your photo that you posted like an hour ago. I'm obsessed with that shot. Like, you do amazing work. Like, what camera is that? I'm looking for a new camera right now. And we'll start talking about that. And literally within those, I mean, that's it. That's it. There is the relationship starting to be built right from there. And I didn't have to say anything about the products, anything about the business. And I did not use a script. I did not use a script.
Yeah.
I didn't say, hey girl. No, I know everybody uses the hey girl. I can't even bash it. Everybody uses it. I
know this line.
Use it.
I know this line is used all the time too, but it is, there is definitely some truth to it. It is quality over quantity. You know, you might send out 400 messages a day, but if you were just to send out, say, 40 of quality, you're in much better standing. And I know that goes against what everyone feels like, oh, being productive and doing, but it really is a case of quality over quantity with that, and building those connections, those relationships.
And it takes all of 2 seconds to do. And Sarah's crazy. And then you could even take it a step further and be really creative. You could take it a step further, and then when you're telling them, like, say it's a camera, okay? And by the way, just because I'm using this as an example, please don't send out 1,000 messages asking about cameras, because then that'll be another whole message. So you could take it a step further and just be like, so yeah, I'm actually looking for, I do a lot of photos with my business. That's all I'll say. I do a lot of photos with my business. I do a lot of videos with it. What camera are you using? Because that photo that you took is phenomenal. Yeah. And I love how you made it.
It's little things like that.
Just little drips, little drips of things. Because genuinely, I could have very much so liked the photo and wanted to know the camera, because right now I am in the market for a camera. Like, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm looking at right now. And that's something that I would say, truthfully, say to somebody. I wouldn't say, like, you know, hey, do you want to win $200 in product? Like, who are you? Who are you? I don't even know who you are. You just added me on here, and why are you, wait, hello, maybe? Maybe we can start there. You know what I mean? So, like, we don't like being pounced on by anybody, business, people, anything, okay? So why are we doing it? I mean, I'm not doing it, but why in general, right? That's something you have to think about. You always have to put yourself in the other people's shoes and think about how you feel when you're called by a telemarketer, when you're walking by the kiosk at the mall, things like that. When you're cold messaged yourself by people in this company or other companies, because I've had many from other companies, contact me, okay? So.
But again, I'll just say, you know, this is something that just really isn't spoken about or really known. I can be completely honest. I had no idea of all of this and the concept of this and the psychology behind it and why, you know, it was like, why is Jess being successful with this? What is she doing? And then it was like this thing called, you know, social. Yeah. But it doesn't, you know, it doesn't click because I'm not a salesperson. You know, I'm not, that just isn't my gig. Now I'll go talk to somebody. That's fine. But like, this just feels like a sales position. So therefore you kind of got to sell. And what does that entail? Going out and talking to people, trying to get as many contacts as possible. So it's difficult because I really get it, because I was 100% that person. You know, you don't know what you don't know. And I didn't know at all. I did a lot of research, you know, and really looked into it. I'm green, you know, did a lot of research and figured this out. And then over the course of the years of this happening, so this isn't just me, you know, reading some stuff online and now we're doing a video. This is also stuff that we've seen happen, has been tweaked. We've seen other people come to it. You know, this has been years and years in the making too. You know, of coming to these realizations with some of this. So, but you know, don't feel stupid that, oh, well, you know, it's really, really tough because, you know, so many people don't realize that there's another option. you know, and other ways of doing it. You know, hence why people stick to doing it the what you could say tried and true method of it. Right, I'm done.
I know,
I was just looking at some of the comments. There's a bunch pop through.
I think your red personality helps a lot. Yellows and greens might have a harder time reaching out, being sociable. False. I can't even find you right now, but that is so not true. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I might have a red personality.
Yeah, she's super yellow.
But I am super shy.
You would never think it, but yeah.
Super shy. You would never know.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
But when I tell you how shy I am, like, here's a perfect example, okay? Just really quickly, and then I'll get to the questions that I want to answer. You all know how to blitz, right? Okay. When we first joined, we were like, oh, we have to blitz, I think. Okay, so let's do that. I wasn't going to do it. There was no way in hell I was doing it. I was not going to just go up to somebody with a blitz card and be like, hey, have you heard of that crazy rap? No, not a chance in hell.
That's me doing it.
He went into salons with my results while I sat in the car and ducked down in the car and waited and looked like this, like a creeper, okay? Looked through the window to see how the conversation was going, to see if, all right, now I can walk in. Yeah. And then I would walk in. Every single time, to the point where I was like, Dan, I don't want to build my business like this. I can't do this. Yeah. There are people, I have friends that are blitz all day, every day. They love it.
What I will say to that is you have to do it. That's one of those things that you need to get over.
You have to.
And it certainly does get easier with time. That's definitely one of those aspects of the business. Because here's the thing. You know, you say you're a yellow, right? And there are many, many yellows. There's more yellows in the world than the other colors. So you're a yellow, and you're really, really uneasy about reaching out and trying to make contact and relationships with people. To some extent, if you want to be successful in anything, stepping out of that comfort zone a little bit. And I know that's something that gets thrown around, you know, stepping out of comfort zones and doing this and doing that.
You gotta be uncomfortable.
You've got to do some, you know, some of those things got to be uncomfortable. Now, it's super duper easy just to send out like 400 scripts, you know, 400 messages at a time. I get that. That might make you feel uncomfortable too. There's something has got to, you know, got to give. You know, you've got to step out of that comfort zone a little bit with something. And doing and basically sending out messages like that, which are what we call warm messaging, is much easier, surely, than just literally cold messaging somebody and waiting for that hate to come back, you know. But yeah, unfortunately, you know.
So I love how I said that this wasn't going to be a long time. So I know that there were, okay, here's what I want to do, because I know that I said for people to ask questions.
Bear in mind, there are going to be
that we're guaranteed to get an answer. So I have a list of them.
This isn't that, yeah.
Yeah, and also keep in mind, this is going to be an entire series of Zooms. I'm keeping it at 3, possibly 4 of them, so I can make sure that everything's talked about and things like that, because I still have to go over posting. Okay, I'm going to show you guys examples of bad posts and great posts and things like that. Live videos, everything. You guys, I am literally giving you the arsenal.
This was just like a touch of it. We're going to get into so much more.
So I know that there were questions that I had you guys ask me before doing this, and I know that I said that you will get, it's guaranteed that you'll get an answer if I see it. So, okay, so this was asked a lot.
Host to post.
How do I feel about host to post? Okay. I think host to posts are great.
Yep.
I think host to posts are great, and I think a lot of people are probably really happy that I said that, because you're probably like, oh, actually somebody recently asked me if I feel like they're like cold messaging. They're not cold messaging. They're not cold messaging, because you're hopefully talking to people that you have already built relationships with to ask them about, hey, would you do me a favor, whatever. But here's the thing. This is what I don't like about host to host, just like I don't like anything else. The problem that comes into play is when everybody is using the same message. Like, at the end of the day, you guys, here's my biggest tip for you. There's going to be many, but here's my biggest tip. Talk to every single person like they're your best friend. From day one, I don't care if you think that you need to know about every product in the product line, you don't. I don't care if you think that you need to know about the entire comp plan. I still only know 2 pages, and that's all I care about. Did pretty good without knowing the entire comp plan, okay? You don't need to know all this stuff. You don't need to have bullet points. Talk to people like they are your best friend from day one. The best way to do that, voice messages. The best way. You're not depending on a script, okay? People are going to hear your voice just like a live video. They're going to hear your voice. They're going to see. I see people agree with me. They're going to see. They're going to feel that connection. Who do you hear somebody else's voice with? Your friends, right? When you talk to somebody, it's either a text message or a phone call.
We have had people reply and they literally sound dumbfounded at the fact that they've had a video, a voice message sent to them by a business.
Yeah.
Because when does that happen? Like, it never happens. And you can literally tell their bemusement. They're just absolutely dumbfounded by the fact that they've had a voice message, and it's fantastic. You know, they love it, and that's happened so many times.
So going back really quickly to what I just said about talking to people like they're your best friend, I just want to show you. Where is it? I just want to show you something really fast. Okay, are we on? Okay, can you guys see that? This was on Instagram, okay? Every now and then I'll still use Instagram. I really don't anymore. I basically just use Facebook and lives. Like, I love Facebook lives. We'll get into that another time. But she left a comment on a post that I made on Instagram. And I want you to see this, okay? None of this is scripted because I don't use scripts. So I messaged her because she said, I'm interested, whatever. So I said, hey, hon, just saw your comment now. She said, hey, how do I go about getting it? And I said, so wait, you've never tried the wraps before? Like, if you just looked at the top 3 things, it would look as though we were best friends. You would not have a clue that I don't know this person from a hole in the wall. And this is literally the first time we've ever spoken. So that's how I talk to people. And she said, no, never. I've been doing it on my own. I was 250. I'm now at 125. My belly's still there, whatever. So I didn't even get into it yet. I just said, stop. Just stop right now. First of all, that's amazing. I don't even know you, and I'm so proud of you. Like, again, I didn't jump on the sale. I didn't tell her bullet points. I didn't.
Let's be honest. That is amazing. that is a big deal.
I was blown away. I was like, what?
That's
So this is how I talk to people. Unfortunately, with Instagram, there's no voice messaging. So I had to write it out. You can send a video though, but I wasn't looking too good that day. So I wrote it out to her. And I just replied to her as though she literally was my best friend. Like, and you would never know. And even.
But that's social media for you. And that's also this business. Mm-hmm. It's not suits and tie, corporate America. You know, it can be a lot more relaxed than just chatting to a friend.
Yep.
Certainly through social media. You know, I mean, it's yeah. So bear that in mind. Okay, well, any other.
Yeah, there was
bunch coming through. I
know.
Well,
I'm gonna everything you guys have asked in here, I'm going to answer.
Whether it be now or
on
maybe
the next one.
Because
I have a list of questions that were already asked prior. Okay, we are. Let me see. Okay, I see your posts on Facebook aren't all scripted and spammy. Never. So how do you message and talk to people when you don't know much about the products yet or haven't gotten to use much of them when all your upline wants to do is send you scripts to use? So if you're a newbie, here's what I'm going to tell you right now. If you're a newbie, okay, if you don't know my story completely, I have a video out there. Please go watch it. It's on my YouTube. And it explains exactly how I exploded in this business from day one. The reason that I got all those customers was because I had results, because I was a customer first before I was a distributor. But I didn't have full results yet. I posted literally from the 2 wraps, okay? Because I know a lot of people wait. Hold on one second. I know a lot of people wait like, oh, I have to have all full results. No, you don't. No, you don't. If you have results from 1 wrap, get that approved, get it out there. Yeah. But what I did from the get-go was I jumped into a post so excited, like I literally found like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You would have thought, what the hell happened to me? I didn't have a script. I didn't have an upline, so I wasn't given a script. And I was talking about this with Dan earlier today, and I'm going to make this quick. I was talking about this with him earlier today, and it's so very true. I am so thankful in some ways that I didn't have an upline because I don't know if I would have done everything that I've done the way that I did. Probably because I know my personality, but the problem is that when people start they're immediately given scripts, newbies, immediately. So they think that they have to be that person. And that sets the downfall for many, many distributors in many companies. It absolutely sets the tone. So that's where it all starts. It literally stems from that day one. So for me, and I will tell you this, if you can tell your newbies anything from the get-go when they first sign up, to literally make a post, make it so damn excited that they will have people. I had people asking me, what are you doing? What is going on? Rather than me saying in their mailbox, okay, on Facebook, hey, listen, I just started this business, blah, blah, blah. I know that's great. I know people use it. I have tried to give that to my newbies as well. It doesn't work as well as we would like it to work. What works is the excitement. What works is being genuine, not the scripts, which again, another video for that, absolutely another Zoom.
Yeah.
But when I started 100%, jumped right into it with excitement, and that's how it took off. And that's, if you can tell your newbies anything.
It's really important to have personal results. And I know you're not necessarily going to have them right away, but it is very important to at least say to yourself, okay, I might not have them right now. My kit might not be here, but I will have them. Regardless of what product it is, have some. Now, there are people that don't need to use the products and they're just very confident in selling, or they might be in a salon setting to where they don't need to and they can just go ahead and do it. We had a friend who went to presidential, didn't have her own personal results, just rocked the business. It happens. It's rare though. It's really rare.
It is rare.
Most people
but it does happen.
Yeah, definitely happens. Most people are going to need their own personal results. It's just how it is,
Another question really quickly. How do you share your everyday life and your story without oversharing it, if that makes sense? It makes complete sense.
That's another video.
That is another video, but I'm going to answer right now. A big problem is that when people get into a network marketing company where they're selling products, they think that they have to immediately switch their lives off and start selling those products. And they use their Facebook profiles, their instant messengers, everything to sell those products and get those people signed up. And that is where the problem starts. If you go into this, or even if you've been in this for a while and you just stop what you've been doing for a minute, okay? And stop thinking that if you talk about yourself like you're oversharing, the whole purpose of social media is not for selling. It's not for your business. That's what people have to remember, because that's why people don't share their lives. Because you think, this is actually not the first time I've been asked this.
No, yeah.
Just recently somebody said to me like, well, I don't want to post too much about what I like because, and I said, first of all, there's no because. It's your Facebook profile.
It's a very difficult question to answer because context. We don't know what was, the level of sharing before to say that's too much, that's too little, but normal, whatever is normal for you. Maybe kick it up a notch if you're somebody who really doesn't use social media too much, but you do want to build a business on it, then of course kick it up a notch. But
here's a perfect
every waking second, you don't need to, unless you were already that person. Don't feel like you need to do that.
Exactly. I'm just going to interrupt really fast because it's really exciting. The best way to look at it is this, okay? Your Facebook profile, for example, if you're going to use Facebook, your Facebook profile should literally be the lifetime movie of your life, okay? It should be your lifetime movie. The commercials for that lifetime movie should be your business, should be your products. That's the ratio that you want to go with. That is the best ratio that you can possibly remember.
Jackie said that to us once, and that really stuck. It was a great way of describing it. And it really is, he wants to be Right. Bear in mind that there are going to be many other videos on this, touching on a lot more things. So if you have questions, feel free to send them through. If there are things on this that you feel we could go into depth with, then also contact us on that.
This is definitely going to have to be more than 3
it could be its own sort of 15-minute video.
Think about it. So, we spent a whole video talking about it.
Yeah, well, I figured that one out.
Yeah, but now it's out of the way, so now you don't have to hear me babble about it.
But there's just so much content here to talk about. So
what's the ratio, Samantha?
Ratio for what?
think about a Lifetime movie, a Hallmark Channel movie, whatever you want to do, is your posts, your personal posts, what you like, things like that, live videos, your dog, your kids, your husband, your wife, whoever.
Way more wants to be about
everything
you than,
because that's the blueprint of attraction marketing, which we will get into. Because it's not about your business. It's not about attracting people to your business. It's about attracting people to you, which in turn will attract people to your business.
So, I mean, bear in mind, you might need to overall, if you were somebody that maybe only posted once or twice a day, you might need to up that substantially to be able to get in enough sort of work-related posts so that it's not too overly work.
I can't wait for the Zoom about posts, you guys. I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for staying with us this long.
I know. This was crazy long.
This was way longer than I expected.
And this is going to be, it's been recorded, so it's going to go up on my YouTube. I'm going to post it on Facebook. You all can have it. All good. Watch my Facebook for the next Zoom. It's probably going to be very soon. It might even be tomorrow. I'm actually going to have Johnny Jumpman be at my house tomorrow. So we might do personal branding because he's big on that and he's a friend of mine. And if you guys don't know who he is, you will know. He's basically the male version of me. So that could be good and bad. I don't know. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later, and I will get to every single question throughout these Zooms. I promise you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was why I'm doing this. So, all right.
Thanks, guys. Cheers. Bye-bye.